Good morning. So today's video is a little bit different. I have got a studio vlog coming, but I really wanted to do this video as a way to start 2021. Full disclaimer, I have totally stolen this idea from Harvey Art. She did a goals video at the start of 2020, and then at the start of this year, she looked back at last year's goals, saw whether she met them, what she did differently or how she excelled those goals, and then listed her new goals for 2021. I thought it was a really good idea that she looked back on the year, and obviously this is my first goals video, so I'm hoping that next year at the beginning of 2022 I can reflect on this video and see if I met the goals that I'm about to tell you. So because I'm a patron of Harvey Art, she created a document for her patrons where she set out like a 2020 review and like everything that what you wanted to do, what you maybe could have learned, what you're going to do in 2021, and then different goals for different sections. And then on the next page, 3 main goals and then a breakdown, because it's all very well having a goal, but if you don't break it down into manageable steps, then you're just never gonna achieve them. If you wanna have access to these sheets, they are downloadable on her Patreon, so you just join. I'm not sure what tier has access to them. Her Patreon's pretty open to a lot of people on all sorts of budgets, so I highly recommend. She's amazing for helping small businesses grow, and yeah, she's one of the reasons that my business is growing. So that this video has some sort of structure, I'm going to use these sheets to go through with you like a reflection of 2020 and what I want the business to look like in 2021. So it's going to be a proper chatty video. I don't think I'm even going to do any b-roll or nice camera shots because it's just me chatting. I hope that's okay. So I did not start this business at the beginning of 2020. For those of you that don't know, I was, and I guess I still am, but it's on hold because of the pandemic, a costume maker. So I work for theatres, making costumes for loads of different productions and film work and stuff like that. So that's what I studied at uni and went to do after. Anyway, at the beginning of the year, I was working in China for 5 months and didn't get back to the UK until June 2020. When I was in China, I was working full-time, but in my spare time, I was building the foundations of this business. I was making a plan. I couldn't put anything into action really, but I was practicing my illustration style and trying to start to build an audience so that when I did get back to open my shop, I would have built up a bit of a following. It's still really, really small. I think I'm nearly at 2,000 on Instagram. But in February, I started from nothing on Instagram. So that's when I guess I started the business. And my shop opened mid-July, I think. So July, August, September, October, November, December. So it's only been open for 5 months. I started YouTube 2 weeks, I think, or 2 or 3 weeks before I opened my shop. So I've been doing YouTube for about 5 months as well. So yeah, this is gonna be a really chatty vlog. I'm so sorry. So my 2020 in review, I'm focusing just on the business, kind of in the last half of the year. So my greatest achievement of the year, I would say setting up the business and actually making some sales. Now, I don't make loads of sales. I've made enough that I can justify a studio space. I am in Fife, so it's really not that expensive. I think if I'd had a spare room at home, I probably wouldn't have stretched to the studio, but we live in a 1-bedroom flat, so it just wasn't possible to work from home. What is a lesson I have learned this year? So my biggest lesson, I guess, is to take a rest when your body needs it. Now, I usually ignore this. I only started listening to my body in the first trimester of this pregnancy. Before that, I would just work crazy long hours. If you watched these vlogs at the beginning, I think I was staying up till like 4 AM just working because I was so excited to get the shop up and running. But really, that's kind of stupid. and I only took a proper break in my first trimester. And I guess that's because I wasn't just having to look after myself, I was having to look after myself to look after a growing baby. So I guess my biggest lesson before even the pregnancy happened would be to just take a break when you need it, because trust me, burnout is not fun. Okay, something I didn't achieve but wanted to. This is quite a broad one, but I wanted to be more organised with my time, and I don't think I was. When I really reflect on 2020, I think like I've achieved so much in such a short time, and I'm really proud of myself for that, but also I'm not very organised. I'm not very good at time management. I'm not very good at organising my days. I tend to procrastinate. I know I do this, and I need to come up with a better system to get myself organised and like make the most out of my days, because otherwise I could work a 12-hour day just, you know, dithering around, not getting that much done, or I could put that into an 8-hour day and get stuff done, and then I get to be home and relax and stuff. So yeah, that ties in with the more time to rest. Is if I was more organised, I'd have more time to rest. I'm proud of myself for keeping up with vlogging, growing YouTube, apart from the past 3 weeks where I totally went missing in action, but that's a whole other story. So apart from that, I spent a good 4 and a bit months vlogging every week, or I think almost every week, doing a couple of other videos, and I'm really proud of that because I spend such a long time editing that YouTube just takes up so much of my time, and to keep that up, I'm really proud of. Okay, for 2021, this time next year, I want to be able to fully support myself through my business alone. So by that I mean, at the moment I've been making enough sales that I've covered my rent, I've been able to cover the cost of materials and investing a little bit into the business. But at the beginning of this business, a lot of the cost was from my own savings that I'd saved up for a long time to be able to buy things like the printer, my laptop, the camera. All these costs are something that I saved hard for from other jobs. Whereas I really want to be able to make investments in this business, like bigger investments, through the sales and through YouTube and other income sources that I want to set up. And for the first time, I was able to buy my laser printer through my sales profits. I didn't use my own personal savings for that. I used the profits I made from your amazing orders, and that feeling is just so incredible that that's what I want to keep doing, and I want to keep investing in the business so that I can build a better and stronger business. So now the sheet has different sections where you can make 3 goals in each section. So the first section is productivity. So my goal in productivity is, number 1, organise my time. I think that's really important to get a better workflow and just make every day a lot smoother. The second one is to set certain days for posting orders. Now, I have such a mishmash organisation. Well, organisation isn't even the word because there is no organisation. I get orders, I package them, I go to the post office. And if then I get an order the next day, I'll package that and I want to get that out quickly, so I'll go to the post office. And I found that I'm going to the post office nearly every day because I think that I have to get that order out either that day or the next day. And I think what I actually need to do is have 2 set days for a post office, so maybe, or 2 or 3. So maybe I go to the post office on a Monday and a Thursday, and if I get orders on a Tuesday and Wednesday, they go out on Thursday, and then if I get orders Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they go out on Monday. So I'm not spending like my day getting to the car, going to the post office, coming back, waiting in queues. And actually, on that note, I have started click and drop, and I decided to do it because of the pandemic and everything that's happening. I was trying to limit like where I went, and basically I didn't want to go to the post office, so I started click and drop. and it's a game changer. I just pay for my postage online, I print it off with my printer and put it in the post box, and if I've got any parcels, there is a parcel box nearby, and I'm so happy because it just keeps me a little bit safer. Number 3, shorten time editing. I spend a ridiculous amount of time editing, but I don't know how I'm going to shorten it because I love doing it, and I love my videos to be really interesting and fun to watch, and when I'm editing I worry that they aren't. Like, I'll worry that this video is really long and boring. So please let me know in the comments below if you like a chatty vlog, or if you like the fun kind of edits and I don't know. Anyway, okay, so the next section is social media. Number 1, this is a big one for me. I have been so bad at this and I've really let it slide, but it's posting to Instagram daily. I know to grow my Instagram I need to post every day, or at least almost every day. When I was in China and I was trying to grow my Instagram, that's what I did. I did drawings all the time. I was on my lunch break doing drawings. As soon as I got home, I did drawings and I posted them to Instagram. Now, I don't have time to draw every single day, but I can add to my grid with my studio, and I've got this amazing space. I could utilize it and post to Instagram every day. And I know from experience that when I was posting every day, my Instagram was growing every day. Not massively, but it was growing every day. Whereas when I stopped posting every day and I was posting like once a month, my following, it barely moved. If anything, it went down a little bit and then trickled up. And I think my main goal of 2021 is posting every day and growing my Instagram, because not that I think it's about numbers, but I need to reach a larger audience to get the orders to make the business work. So that is a big goal of mine. Number 2, this kind of ties into organising my time, but number 2 is take photos in advance. I don't mean months in advance, but taking a couple of photos and then scheduling them for the week means that I'm not scrambling together to get a photo out daily. And I think if I'm organised and I actually do that, then I can achieve the first goal of posting daily. Number 3, spend time connecting with other accounts. I do feel like I do this at the moment. I'm always chatting to people. My DMs are really busy. I always chat to people on DMs, but I think I could do even more, and I could share more artwork, because it's always amazing when someone shares your work, and I think if I was to share more work, then I think that's great. Marketing. Create a strong brand. This is another really big goal of mine, and it ties into posting to Instagram every day. So I want to have my brand colours chosen and not do different variations of the same 3 colours. I want to have specific colours and integrate them into my grid on Instagram. So maybe through quotes, I've got some colours in there. In the background, I've got things like this, which isn't even in frame. You know, just to add a little bit of my branding into the Instagram grid, because then my photos will become recognisable as my own. I want to have my own fonts that are recognisable as my fonts and use them on my grid and also on my stories and also my YouTube banner. And then also, sorry, there's so many ideas, also use those fonts and colours in a new logo and use the same colours in my packaging. And there's just so much I could do with branding that I know I'm not doing now, and I really want to. Number 2, create a strong, I've just said that. Number 2, engage on Instagram more. I've already talked about that. I feel like social media and marketing are kind of similar. And then number 3, keep up with YouTube. YouTube is a great way for me to market, because I'm talking about my products, I'm talking about behind the scenes. People are really interested in behind the scenes. That's the whole point of vlogging. So I think that's a really great marketing technique. Okay, so my skills. Number 1, keep practicing my style. So I don't really know, style's a bit of a tricky one because it's always developing. and I'm always trying out new things, but I just basically want to draw more. Number 2, do warm-up sketches. I got this idea from Sarah Faber. She does warm-up sketches pretty much every day. I don't think I have time to do them every day, but if I was to spend an hour or 2 hours every other day doing a warm-up sketch, then I know my art skills are going to improve so much. Even if it's just a sketch, it doesn't have to be a full finished piece. Number 3, create a faster drawing workflow. So I have tried this recently. Instead of spending 6-8 hours on one drawing, I want to spend a couple of hours on it and think of techniques where I can do that without compromising the look of the artwork. Okay, so the next one is financial. Number 1, fully research before investing. Now, if you've seen other vlogs, you'll know that my laser printer, although it has actually been a great investment for other things, the reason I bought it was for my planners, and that went horribly wrong because I didn't work out the print costs. So yeah, just do more research. Number 2, properly work out profit margins. I feel like I do this because if I don't, then I don't make a profit, and if I don't make a profit, I can't do this business. The only time that went wrong was with the planners, but that's because I didn't know the print cost. If I'd have worked that out, I wouldn't have done it. Number 3, create set freebies instead of giving away stock. So when I give orders out, I really like to add freebies, and I feel really guilty if I don't add a freebie, like no matter what the order is. So what I started doing was offer a free large sticker for orders over £10, and that was such a great thing to do because I knew I was giving a freebie without taking stock from things that I could be making a profit from. But I think if I keep that up, that is a good thing to do. Okay, and the last one is other. Number 1, I said work on branding YouTube and thumbnails. So my thumbnails on YouTube are really all over the place. They're not very cohesive. You don't necessarily recognize that it's me, I don't think anyway. And I want to incorporate the brand that I'm going to create on Instagram with YouTube so that it's completely recognizable across the board. Number 2, post 5 to 10 stories daily. I don't know if that's ambitious. I tend to just, make stories as I go throughout the day, and I think I can keep up with that as long as I'm, in the studio and working, not just at home in bed asleep. Number 3, utilize Canva. I paid for Canva. Actually, I paid for it accidentally because I got the free trial and I forgot to cancel it, and it charged me for the full year. So I was really upset with myself for doing that. But I've done it now and I need to actually use it. So I actually think it's going to be a good thing because now I'm talking about branding. I can make templates for my stories, posts, just all sorts. So I'm going to utilize that and actually make use out of the thing that I accidentally paid for. Okay, if you're still with me, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so these are goal setting for 2021, and these are the 3 main goals. Now, these are big ones for me, and I'm a little bit scared to talk about them because what if it doesn't work? Then this will be totally embarrassing, and I don't know. I'm really nervous to say it because it might not happen. So full disclosure, this might not happen, but I'm really wanting it to and gonna try. So my number 1 goal in 2021 is Patreon. Now this terrifies me to say it out loud because what if no one wants to join? What if I'm rubbish? I'm just scared. A couple of people have asked me if I'm going to have Patreon, and because those people have asked me, it's given me a glimmer of hope that some people will join. And I absolutely love Patreon. I am a patron for a couple of creators. It's just such a great way to support artists and then have these rewards for supporting someone you really, really like and admire. I'm still really scared to say it out loud because it might be a total flop, and I don't know. I just know that I have to be really, really organised with my time. And a big thing that is potentially going to throw a spanner, it's definitely going to throw a spanner in the works, is having a baby. Now, on this sheet it says, when would I like to complete this by? I wrote March, April 2021, but I actually think that it's gonna have to be the second half of the year. So our baby is due in June, and if I started Patreon in March or April, which ideally that's what I would be doing if I wasn't having a baby, when the baby comes in June, I would have to be so organised in getting content made in advance for when I have the baby, because I know that when I have this baby, I'm gonna want time off, at least a couple of months where I'm just settling with the new baby. And I don't know how I can run Patreon and have a baby. At least once the baby's born and it's been a couple of months, then I can be working while the baby's asleep. But then maybe I could do that now, I don't know. If you have any advice to me, if you had a baby during the launch of a business or launch of a Patreon, please let me know, because I have been told by a couple of friends that as soon as the baby comes, everything else will take a complete backseat. I'll forget that I've even got a YouTube channel, and I don't want Patreon to suffer for that. So I'm thinking maybe it's gonna have to be maybe November in next year. And if that is the case, it gives me a great amount of time to plan and create a really good Patreon ready for when that starts. Hey guys, it's Editing Meg here. I'm so sorry for the no makeup or makeup down my face, terrible lighting look, but I just wanted to pop on because since recording this earlier today, I had my bi-weekly chat with Natalie from the Charging Balls, and she has a little girl, and I asked her advice on this, and it kind of makes sense to me, and that is, set it up now while I'm able to. The worst thing to do is to try and set up something new just after having a baby. At least if it's established, it's something I can keep going, and when it comes to the time that I've actually had the baby and I need a break, there are things I can do in advance to prepare for that. And although that seems really daunting, if I'm organised, it is manageable. And because it's something that I really, really want to do, and it's one of my main goals of this year, then I think I'll make it work. So yeah, those are my thoughts now. I'll probably read all of your advice and change my mind 100 times, but there we go. Okay, back to the video. So the steps I can take to achieve this goal. Number 1, research existing Patreons, like different tiers that they have, decide what works for me, like the rewards that I want to do, which brings me on to number 2, which is decide on tiers and rewards. And then number 3, set a launch date. If you don't actually know what Patreon is, it's basically this platform where you have extra content that you provide to people that pay monthly, like maybe £2 a month, £5 a month, £10, whatever your tiers are, and in each tier are different rewards. So it might be an extra vlog every month, you know, wallpapers, live stream videos, just all this extra stuff, or goodie boxes, and it just means that you can set up this extra source of income so that if your shop's a bit quieter one month, you've got that to fall back on, you know that's coming. So yeah, that's a really, really big goal of mine. Goal number 2, my goal is websites. I started building a website before I even had an Etsy shop, and honestly, I think I did 3 or 4 different designs. I got really into it, But then I just kept getting so frustrated because it wasn't looking how I wanted it to look. It didn't look professional. It didn't like feel like Fizz and Flourish, and I feel like I was just bumbling my way through it. But this week, as it's the start of 2021, and I want to reach these goals, I have started afresh on a new platform. I've decided to go with Shopify, and I'm creating a website that I think is more in line with how I want the brand to be. And I'm using the colours, the fonts, the logos that I've created to bring that all together on a website, because I would like to offer my shop on my own platform rather than Etsy. I really love Etsy. It's definitely brought me traffic, but from my analytics, what I found is that most, I'd say 90% of my sales come from either links through my YouTube channel or my Instagram. They're not necessarily organic searches on Etsy. That 10% that is organic basically has been my Christmas cards. They did really well this year, and they reached the second page on the Etsy, search for Christmas cards. So they did really well. But pretty much everything else has been from followers or people that have found me through YouTube. And I just feel like if I was to direct people to my own website, I have more control over my own stuff. If Etsy say they want to up their fees, they can, and there's nothing you can do about it. So I think that while I'm still small, I need to get it on my website so that becomes my main point of shopping. I'm not going to get rid of Etsy because I think it's good to have different avenues, because some people like Etsy and would rather buy it on Etsy than on a website. So yeah, that is a big goal. Steps to achieve this goal. Number 1, set up account. I've actually done that already. Number 2, I've written just bloody do it, because I keep putting it off. And I keep putting it off because I feel like I'm not very good at designing this website. Like I said, I've tried 4 times, but I just need to sit down and do it. Number 3, set a launch date. So when would I like to complete this by? So I've written February 2021, which gives me a month to get cracking on it. And I think because January is going to be a quiet time in the shop, it's actually the best time to be building this website. What could stop me from achieving this goal? Procrastination. Goal number 3, branding. I've kind of already talked about this, so I'll just go through this quickly. Steps to achieve: decide main colours, decorate studio, set up fonts and make templates on Canva. And I think as long as I stick to that, and I also add the same sorts of colours and illustration styles to YouTube, the thumbnails, the banner, even the font on YouTube, all that sort of thing, I think slowly, as time goes on, you'll start to see a brand. And well, that's what I hope anyway. When would you like to complete this by? I've written ongoing from January the 1st, 2021, because it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time to build up the photos and all that sort of thing. So that's another big goal of mine. What could stop me from not achieving this goal? Not posting enough on Instagram. I keep talking about Instagram, but I think until I've got maybe 10 photos on the grid, you're not going to see the brand. You're not going to see those colours kind of repeated throughout. At the moment, my Instagram is so mishmash that you can't see a brand there. So I think if I'm posting daily, like I said in my other goals, you're going to start to see the brand, and you're going to start to see repetition of the same fonts and stuff like that. So that's what I'm going to do. That's my goal sheets finished, completed, talked about, which means I have to do it. That's another great thing about this video. it's given me some motivation to get it done, because I've said it now. I've said I'm doing Patreon, so I've got to do it, haven't I? I'm really sorry if this was super long. I think we're pushing on half an hour, which is quite long for my vlogs, but hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have any thoughts, please let me know in the comments below. I love to read your comments. I always try to reply. I don't always get time to reply to all of them, but I do try. And yeah, let me know if you have any major goals of 2021. If anyone else is wanting to start a Patreon, let me know below. Yeah, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel, because another goal is to keep growing. Oh, I haven't said. Okay, I'm gonna say some numbers because it's scary to say numbers, but I'm gonna do it. I would like to reach on Instagram 5,000 followers, which is insane. But it's not, if I really do it, it's not ridiculous. Like, I'm nearly at 2,000 and I started that in February last year. So 10 months to get 2,000. So it's a little ambitious to give myself a year to get another 3,000. But if I stick to my goals, I'll do it, I think. I hope. Ooh. Okay, YouTube, I've reached 2,000 followers in 5 months. So if I could also get to 5,000, like if I could be on the same level with Instagram, because YouTube has actually overtaken Instagram, maybe I should say 6,000 on YouTube. Yeah, 5,000 Instagram, 6,000 YouTube, and Patreon. If I start in November, I will be blown away. Oh my god, this is a really big number, I'm gonna say, I think, for giving myself, if I start in November, that only gives me like 2 months. So I don't know if it's possible, but I'm gonna say 20. If I could get 20 patrons, that would be insane. Okay, so if I start in March, if I could get to 40 patrons by the end of the year, that would be insane. Anyway, I've said the numbers now. Next year I'll do a review and see if I hit them. And that's it from me. I shall see you next week for a studio vlog. Okay, bye.